Hi, my name is Garen Daly. I'm the festival director for the 47th Boston Science Fiction Film Festival and Marathon, and we're continuing our series of looking under the hood of what goes on inside a film festival. And I'm joined today by Eliot and Zander Weaver, who have a film called Cosmos. Guys, welcome to Boston Sci-Fi.
Thank you so much for having us. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's wonderful to be talking to you and talking about Cosmos. Very excited for the festival.
Yeah, it's kind of unusual about what we're doing together this year because we rarely bring a film like yours to the marathon, which is where it's going to play. First of all, I think it's going to play really well with the crowd. But why don't you explain a little bit what happened to your film and why this is a good date for it?
Sure. So Cosmos was released at the end of 2019, in November 2019. All was going well. The world was still spinning as we knew it. And then obviously at the beginning of 2020, everything changed. Everything changed for the world and everything changed for the film industry as well. And also for independent filmmakers, it became a place to find a new route and a new way of surviving in this new world. And so we, like all filmmakers, had to try and figure out how to continue to reach audiences in a pandemic world. And unfortunately, that meant that we couldn't come to any film festivals in person and meet audiences and enjoy other people's films. And so now with the world opening back up again, we're very lucky to be able to present Cosmos in the way that we hoped it would be seen in the first place, which is in front of live audiences.
Have you gotten into many other festivals?
We haven't had any festival success. I mean, in the kind of the period between the film being released and where we are, we have not screened Cosmos anywhere.
Yeah, so this is super exciting for us to, have the movie in front of a big live audience at your festival. It's a real privilege.
So why don't we play the trailer, and then when we come out, we can talk a little bit about the film.
Okay, let's do it.
So what are you going to do this evening?
I don't know. I was thinking tonight might be my last night anyway.
Hi, Roy. I'm Mike. And it's great to finally meet you. I listen to space. It's what I do. You can see the universe in a completely different way. You get to give up more of the secrets. What's going on? I think I found something. It's on a very thin frequency. It's like nothing I've ever seen. Mike, what is this? Dave, it's Mike Webster. We got a target signal here.
Stand by. We're not hearing anything yet.
Well, then scan the band.
Look, Mike, I've checked. There's nothing.
Are we the only ones getting this?
I don't see how that's possible.
We can't ignore this. We got to stay with it. Okay, guys, separate the antennas and spread out.
Mike, we're on station and ready to copy.
Let's do this.
You have no idea. No idea what's going on here.
We're getting some serious spikes here, guys.
Hold your position, Roy.
We're losing the signal.
I'll help you if I can. But it's really all on you.
But we don't have a choice. We got to do something.
It's the choice you make right now that counts. You make the right moves here, and you have in your hands the greatest discovery in the history of mankind.
Hold on! Hold on! Oh, right! Run, Mike, run!
You know, I love trailers. I really do. You guys did a great edit on that. Did you guys do the editing on that one?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, Cosmos was a very interesting movie to make. It was effectively my brother and I in post the whole time for how long was it?
It was about 28 months, I think.
28
I was going
months.
to say 28 years.
Yeah, 28 years. It felt like
Felt
it.
like it.
So yeah, we did. It was a no budget movie. It cost us about £5,000, about $7,000 to make over the course of about
That
5
cost
years.
$7,000.
$7,000. Yeah, yeah.
Wow. So, you know, as an exhibitor, which is what I used to be, we would say there's a lot of film on the screen for that amount of money. So
Thank
That's
you.
the goal. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. The trade-off, obviously, with when you haven't got much money, is everything takes a lot longer. So we just buried ourselves in making this movie, and that involved everything in the post, in cutting, sound design, visual effects, but also poster, promotional material, trailers, all that kind of stuff. So I'm really glad you like the trailer.
yeah, no, like I said, I really do love trailers. And I also like the sound design. These are things that I focus in on when I'm looking at a film. The actors are all unknown actors as well, correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. And where did you find these guys?
So we spent quite a while looking for the three main actors in Cosmos, and we kind of crossed paths with them in unusual ways. Actually, we tried to do a casting in a traditional way, using casting calling, and but the three guys that we eventually settled on came to us all in different walks of life. Tom, who plays Mike, we actually worked with him on a job. He wasn't acting, but he seemed like he had that skill set. Arjun, who plays Roy, he's actually a television cameraman by trade, but expressed an interest in auditioning, and we were like, yeah, sure, I'll just give it a go. And he just knocked it out of the park. And Josh, we found on Twitter. He was in a play and just posting stuff about his experience, and we thought, this guy loves this so much, let's give him a message. So they came to us, and when we found them, we knew we had our main characters.
You know, one of the hallmarks, you know, we see a lot of films. We see a lot of independent films, and we love independent films, and we love independent filmmakers, and we really do believe that that's the future of cinema. But there are certain tropes that you know about independent films. One is there's no budget, obviously. But the one thing is there's a good script, good acting in a confined space. And your confined space is a car, which is a little unusual. And then I think I read someplace that all the equipment was owned by the people themselves.
Yeah, yeah. So all the props in the movie we either already had, so the computer screens for editing, a lot of camera gear that you'll see if you look closely. You'll see a lot of cables you might recognize, some tripods, some upside down lamp stands as antenna, all sorts of little tricks. And of course, the filming equipment as well was equipment that we'd kind of collected as freelancers over years of working as freelancers, and we just thought, what can we do with what we've got available to us? And Cosmos was that idea.
Why did you make this film?
Great question.
We made this film because for our whole lives, we've been in love with cinema itself. We're filmmakers, but first and foremost, we're film lovers. And we've always wanted to make films together. We've always made little films together, and our ambition was to eventually move into, feature film narrative work. And we'd done shorts, and we'd worked in documentaries, we'd done freelance work, and it just came to that time in our lives where we were like, we really want to jump off in the deep end now and make a movie. And Cosmos was really, we knew as first-time filmmakers it would have to be independent, it would have to be self-motivated and driven in the way that it was, and we wanted it to be a love letter to the movies that inspired us as kids and inspired us to love movies. And so, we grew up on a very healthy diet of Spielberg and Lucas and Amblin and Zemeckis, and and we wanted Cosmos to have some of that magic. Hopefully, I mean, I know that's a strong ambition, but
maybe a slither,
maybe just even if it's just a grain of that magic, and pass that forward to people and make them go, oh, I love the movies. So that was our ambition, and we had to do it.
So you mentioned some, Spielberg and Zemeckis and all those people, and they have a tendency to make sort of uplifting films, so films that have a good ending. I don't want to give away the ending for your film because that's wonderful. But do you see the hopefulness that seems to permeate your film as something you're going to want to continue to do in other films?
Yeah, I think so. Certainly, I think for the first few films that we make, it's I think maybe creatively as you progress, we're going to want to challenge ourselves to do new things. But at the moment, where we are in our lives, some of the experiences that we've had, we know the power of a good, hopeful movie and an optimistic, sitting down to get that escapism, to just leave the real world behind for a little bit and enjoy the movies is a powerful thing. And it's a really worthy thing to want to do. And so for us at the moment, yeah, especially these days, we've actually had a lot of people reach out to us through the pandemic saying, I found this, I was stuck at home,
I was in bed,
it was just what I needed, it was something optimistic, something light, and I think it's powerful and important. So for us at the moment, we want to tell those kind of stories.
So that's great, and I like that, and and I think it's going to play well with the marathon crowd. But what about the science behind the movie? How much digging did you do? How much is kind of like bull,
We tried to, I guess, ground the movie in as much realism as possible, but still there be some leaps of faith and some artistic license. We did a lot of reading on, what are the protocols for these sorts of situations? What technically would someone do if they happened across something? Who would they turn to corroborate their discoveries? So yeah, we did a lot of reading, we did a lot of research, a lot of Googling, tried to put some science into the movie that sounded like it gave the characters authority, and it is to a certain degree, grounded in reality, but then there are some leaps of faith. And we've had people in the astronomy community, and we actually know a few people in the scientific community, physicists, go, this is pretty good. Like, I can appreciate you've gone to those lengths, and I when I'm watching it, I know maybe that's a bit of a stretch of the imagination, but actually as a scientist, I appreciate the lengths you went to. Thanks for representing me as a scientist and as an engineer.
There are actually almost two bands of like astronomers online. Some of them are saying, some people say, oh, that was inaccurate, and then another astronomer will come in and say, no, that's exactly what I would do. And so there's this little war of discussions about, would you do it like this, or how come they've got white light, why aren't they using red light in the car, and all this kind of stuff. It's quite cool. But yeah, we found that it's really clicked with the astronomy community. We're super proud of that. It's we love looking to the stars ourselves, so to think that other people who enjoy that hobby as well have really clicked with it is just great.
One of the things we're doing, and I don't think I've ever talked to you guys about this, is that at Boston Sci-Fi this year, we're actually have a leitmotif of composers and music, and we've got a little feature of Day the Earth Stood Still and Jason the Argonauts. Bernard Herrmann did the score.
Yeah.
One of our key people is a composer himself, and so we have a film from France that has a good score. But you guys went to the WPA and you went to Folklife. Is that right? You got music out of that?
Well, one of the tracks in the film, this is a really fortuitous, lovely little thing that we came across. We'd written the script. We thought it was locked and it was good to go, and that was it. And I was looking, I think we may have been making a documentary at the time. I was looking for some public domain material for that documentary, and I stumbled across this old folk track and called Uncle Rat. And it had such character and it was such a fantastic little tune. We immediately started to think, what, could we put this into the film as something they hear on the radio, something that could kind of bond the characters, a little bit of a kind of a Jaws-esque moment where the characters come together over a shed.
Yeah, show me the way to go home.
Show me the way to go home. A little homage there. And yeah, so we were really a wonderful moment to find that. And we get lots of people asking about where they can listen to it and find it. And on different.
That'll come out when the album gets released, right? The soundtrack.
Yeah. We wanted to put it on the footnote of on Spotify. So yeah, you can go and listen to it. It is online.
So where are you going to go next? I mean, and last time I think we talked, you guys were working on another project. Where do you think that's going to go? What is that?
Sorry, what did you say?
What is that project, and where you think you're going?
We're working on a second feature film, which is another science fiction, because we just love sci-fi, and that is an underwater adventure set at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean called The Deep, and it is about a marine biologist who is studying the underwater world in her single-person submarine, and she finds herself, through unfortunate circumstances, trapped at the bottom of the ocean. And while she's down there and fighting to return to the surface world, she has a mysterious encounter which stands to rewrite her understanding. And if she can get back to the surface, maybe our understanding as well. So that's the project we actually wrote through COVID. We were like, okay, we don't know how long COVID's going to go along. Let's write a story about one character in a confined circumstance. But we are, at the moment, in kind of deep development on that film. We're talking to film production companies here in the UK to gear up support for it, and we've actually got a meeting this week with a film production company about financing. So we're very hopeful that we can bring this next story out to the screens and bring it to people, and hopefully continue that telling kind of hopeful, optimistic science fiction stories.
All right, so we have to wrap up because we're approaching our max here. But I come from a big family, and we were all boys. How do you guys get along, spending so much time in a room alone without killing each other?
You can't fire your brother.
You can't.
Garen.
That is
we
true.
tried.
You should not talk to them for years.
This is true.
Yeah, I think we owe it to the movies. I've got to say, maybe that's a bit corny, but I think the movies. I think working together on films, our shared love of cinema, has kept us close all these years. And yeah, we have a few tiffs here and there, but it's always for the good of the film.
It is.
Whatever is going to make the film better, we go with it. It's not about egos here. So yeah, no, we get on really well. And
Well, it sounds like you guys are actually healthy.
Well, supposedly.
Thank you for that, I guess.
Maybe we need some office boxing gloves just to, figure out some of the problems.
So my last question is when people walk out after watching the movie, what do you want them thinking or singing or mulling, or what do you want them to take away?
Wow, what a great question. I guess I just hope that they think that was fun. That was a ride, and maybe they want to tell their mates. Have you heard of this film called Cosmos? I think you might like it.
It's a movie that's about friendship and about coming together to achieve something. So hopefully that might inspire some people to reach out to some old friends maybe they've lost contact with, or maybe it just inspires them to look up to the stars and get a telescope out and look at it in a new light or something like that. That would be wonderful. Well, guys, thanks a lot for spending some time with us. The movie's called Cosmos. It'll be playing at the Boston Science Fiction Marathon on the 20th of this coming up, and hopefully if you guys get a chance, by all means swing by. We'd love to have you come.
We'd love to be there.
All right, bye.
Thank you. Bye.